Well, praise the Lord for every boy and every girl. For Neil Diamond, the person that took me to see him, where that was, who we were with. Yep, Neil Diamond. And without further ado, I'll tell you, this is kind of like living on a prayer redefined. Linked in the description, part 2. This won't be the perfect video, but I'm gonna try to do it all, just one take. Hate doing retakes, and on this one, I kind of have done a couple retakes, or tried to do this video once before, so hopefully, or a couple times. While homeless, I lived on $18,000, and it's $18,664. 43% of that income, best I can gather, came from me. The money I already had, money while working multiple jobs while homeless across America for 725 days, and money on tax refunds. So money I earned before I went homeless, and then tax refund. This video is going to be one about big dreams, big ideas. I'm going to tell you, I just told you, probably a lot of people are wondering if you're subscribing already, or just are hoping to get more results out of that living on a prayer redefined video. And I sure am, right here, the same place, Cheeseman Park, where I did that video. I'm going to tell you that I am going to add to the $1 billion GoFundMe I created a few days ago. Why did I create a $1 billion GoFundMe? To eradicate homelessness. Maybe particularly first for our U.S. veterans, people of military families, and then homelessness in general in the greatest country in the world. And I made it for $1 billion because overnight, after that fire in a church in Paris happened, there was more than $900 million pledged overnight for our building. I don't think anybody lives there. I did speak about Notre Dame while homeless in San Francisco. Linked in the description. It's going to be a lot of stuff. Not just videos of mine, but other links to information I find relevant in explaining the other 2 GoFundMes that I haven't created yet. We don't know what will happen in the future. Feeling a little out of sync, being in sync, out of sync. It gets frustrating. But I remember what I said when I said it, pretty much. And the other 2 GoFundMes, well, one's for $18,664. Sure is. You see the last video I did. It's a link out in the description. It's called Being Brought Right by the Billionaires. Was it done personally by Bill Gates or whoever's running Microsoft? I don't think so. But it's a company that's believing in Nathan, because I was believing in them. Sure was. Having my Microsoft Office Personal Edition linked to my credit builder, moving the money there. They believed in me real soon, real fast. And I think I do want to go way over here, take a walk. I did do something that I already did in the retakes. We'll probably see them later. I made notes. And I brought my iPad, Xfinity, and Apple, and Microsoft. The companies that believe in Nate like nothing else. So one GoFundMe is for $18,664. I made it that amount because 43% of the income I survived on while homeless across this nation for 725 days, or 1 week shot 2 years. 43% was money I provided by working. That does not include things like SNAP or hotel vouchers, but it includes the cash out, straight cash that I could tally. I do still would love to have, I'd love some help, county help for sure. I'm asking for a lot in this video. Like I said, it's about big dreams and like what I need to be doing, I feel, as soon as possible. Giving this a lot of thought. I've been up all night. It's April 30th, 2025, about 7:09 a.m. This video won't go online until I have the links all in the description. Country stores getting better all of the time. So we're gonna go here to this gazebo that I know of. It reminds me of one in my hometown. So much about Denver is so much like bigger, Binary, North Carolina. The other GoFundMe I made is for $205,917.19. What's that one for? Well, I would like for somebody to believe in the GoFundMe for $18,664 first. And I believe that's a good first step. So I think I was kind of like, I think the channel at large, how he is, he's very, very much demonstrative of like all of these bottlenecks and stifles and frustrations. I need $18,664 so that I can pay back almost all of the people. There are two people I won't pay back. One's Tom Acosta and one's Tom Acosta's friend. Like the descriptions, the American Greed video I did in San Francisco. Highest cost to stay afloat at all anymore. Not gonna pay those two people back. Tom Acosta and the man I think is taking Tom Acosta's house. Tom Acosta's my alleged father. Should be mine and my brother Andrew's house. We'll have more to say on what I could find out about Tom Acosta's house, who owns it, how much it was for sale. A lot of numbers. Well, now's a good time to introduce my new thing. I just had a birthday. NTA is Nathan Thomas Acosta's 38 years old. And it reminded me of Texas Instruments and that TI-83. Maybe when I'm 83, I'll be Texas Instruments 2.0. But, Lord willing, that's what Tom Acosta used to say a lot, Lord willing. NTA 38 is very, applying something very different from maybe like NTA 36, Southern Prince. NTA 37 last year was rock solid. But NTA 36 was kind of that year I was homeless for every single second. And I used Southern Prince as a air of Disney World fantasy and glow and charm and like bringing the royal, you know, kind of magic of kindness and timeless elegance, keeping up an appearance. We'll see in photographs probably more later, things like that. Of having to always believe, not have a fridge again. Today, I've said in many videos, I feel like Prince Philip. I compete with no one, but I can get better. And you know what I've been doing ever since I published the Living on a Prayer Redefined video is a lot of numbers. Try to quantify this experience or where I want to go in the future. So we should probably get on to why I want to create a GoFundMe for $205,917.19. We'll get on to that, but I do want to say, if I could talk to one person in 8 billion, there's actually a couple I'd like to talk to one-on-one for the rest of this chat. Alex at the bank. I went in and stopped, and he was not there, but I got his email. So I'm going to email this to him. And there's a David Farnsworth we're going to be learning about, or you could just Google him right now. I'm very excited for so many things. Like I said, I've done a few retakes. I'm not doing a video up there at Cheeseman Memorial. I've learned a little bit about Mr. Cheeseman, who created this park. I've learned a lot about this park. Can you tell we had rain? Lots of it. Did you know at Cheeseman Park, we have like 2,000 or 3,000 bodies from like the 1800s. And sometimes when it rains, there's lots of precipitation. There's so many dogs here. I don't know what happens, but sometimes they've found a few occurrences where bones will come out. So we're sitting in a river in McDowell County, West Virginia. We stopped doing that. There's a whole plaque down at Union Station about that's going to end, or it did. But here we have bones from dead people back in the day. And I wonder, do sometimes these dogs out here in this dog park know that before we do? I thought about it. They're in a dog park. We're going to go over lots of numbers, and I'll start with a few segues. I'm more of a arts and literary and emotional communications words person, all right? But we're going to walk the long way. Why not? It's just right there. See it? But I'm going to try to walk not on the grass. Don't want to get my feet wet, because then I'll be cold. So the slogan of the Pennsylvania Lottery, I think is what I'm going to call this video. Anything can happen. Anything can happen is the slogan of the Pennsylvania Lottery. And I was in Pennsylvania in 2018. A lot. Trying to move to Philadelphia. I was an Uber and Lyft driver. And I tell ya, the next slogan I want to mention would be PNC Bank. I think they're based out of Pittsburgh. That's where Alex works. And their slogan is brilliantly boring since 1865. And it just doesn't clash with me. But PNC Bank is it's my brick and mortar bank, and it's the one I believe in. Because the next slogan I want to tell you is U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel's slogan is best for all. Mr. Jack Caffrey from U.S. Steel told me I would have to fight like hell. And I am. And Mrs. Caffrey, someone I never met, don't know if she's still around, but her handwriting, her calligraphy, is the most beautiful I had ever seen in my entire lifetime. We can learn a lot from our elders, and we did. Those two, very much in McDowell County, West Virginia. Mr. Caffrey came down from Pittsburgh, I believe, working for U.S. Steel, and he had to lay off more than 17,000 people overnight in Gary, West Virginia. He was still a leader in the community in the 2010s. And he believed in Tonacasta. Believing in Tonacasta was not an easy thing to do, especially for Mr. Caffrey. So he got that water tank bypass mural. Linked in the description is what's going on with that. Or my best I can give you as Tonacasta's alleged son. Okay, so let's just get down to why the GoFundMe for $205,917.19. Well, I did a Google search for inflation calculator. And a good way to kind of put this in a way I can explain that rationalizes to me what I want to do, what I think is best for all. Brilliantly boring, maybe this could be a less creative way, or the most straight to the point. Math, trigonometry, triangles, it's very much, there is only one, still number one, correct answer. Right? There is nothing like it. A, B, C, or D on a multiple choice test. It's only going to be one answer. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. For an inflation calculator, if you search on IMDb for the Hollow documentary that Elaine McMillan Sheldon, a multimillionaire, stayed at Tonacasta's more than 6,000 square foot Colburn's mansion. She was there staying for free to do a documentary about poverty. Became Emmy nominated, screened at the United States Capitol. It's about the time, pretty much, she was there as I was coming to live at Tomacosta. We're going back about a decade, a little bit more than that. But well, on IMDb, it says that budget was $150,000 for a documentary. That was in 2013. In today's money, it's $205,917.19. I don't know the percentage exactly that GoFundMe will take. Someone donates that amount right now. I hope they do. I actually believe they might want to do, I believe in doing that twice, 3 times, maybe more. Okay, I've got to cross the grass here, get over here. This gazebo, we're going to take a break from these numbers, reminds me very much, and we're going to be connecting to a lot of, like I just said, correct answers, specific people and places, things in my life, that there's only one Pat from the library in Mount Airy, North Carolina, where she did Once Upon a Time at the Gertrude Smith House, and Tomacosta aged her for her storybook, allegorical fantasy. She was a lot younger than that, but it looked better if she was older, right? And that painting, one of Tomacosta's most recognized works from the early 1990s, for the Our Town collection. We're going way back. We're going to go back specifically at the end of this video to an action item. Has something to do with something right before I was born. I hope I got your interest. There's so many videos of me fighting homelessness across America. And I did. I ended up in the best place. Today's a very important day. Yesterday was the 50th anniversary at the end of the Vietnam War. Welch, West Virginia, already knows. It is home to the oldest Veterans Day parade in United States history. And it is where Tomacosta stopped working indoors and never fulfilled his commitment to honor a project in Raynell, West Virginia, the last stop for Run for the Wall, a motorcycle ride where there's only going to be so many more of those with Vietnam veterans that served. He essentially took more than $20,000 after he made me homeless. Welch, West Virginia needs a complete recovery right away. Yet, my cousin Gary is fighting homelessness in Florida. He is Jenny Wheeler's son. And Homer Hickam loved to tweet where I said, Aunt Jenny, he's older than Tomacosta, it's his half-sister, very well known locally down there in Welch, and I've been unable to reach her. I haven't talked to her in a long time, but I know she will never stop loving her son. She's on Social Security. She doesn't have a phone. And I said that she's supporting Gary very much. Gary's reached out to me desperately. He's in a crunch. He is a father fighting homelessness. We must care. We must hope for the best. We must pray. We must do something. And I am fighting like hell, like Jack Caffrey told me to. Mr. Jack Caffrey. Welch is in this crisis. It's little New York. It's the free state of McDowell. It's the poorest rural place in America. So Welch needs a recovery, and I need people to support the $18,664 GoFundMe. GoFundMe. I haven't even thought of the name for it yet. I'll have one. I think this video is going to be called Anything Can Happen. Somebody won. I have a few interesting stories too with this video. I'll try to do it as soon as I can. It may be over an hour. Just don't know. That's kind of a goal. But William Ellen Sheldon basically had the equivalent back in 2013 of $205,917.19 to do that documentary. Got more to say on that. And here's what I want to spend $205,000. Is that right? $205,917.19. It's my goal. What you should know is I thought a lot about things I want to do. So much. I don't know where the best vantage point is in this very storybook kind of place, this gazebo. I was here while homeless a couple times, right here. The guy I stayed with last winter, and I was working at 7-Eleven, and before, as I was trying to get work, right? Actually, I left a job at a kitchen and bath design firm because it was unsafe, and I went back to Josh's. Well, there was a day we came out here, and I remember specifically seeing this gazebo, and there's a picture of me with Winnie and Snickers, his two dogs. It's just taken like right over there somewhere. Anyway, I would love to be able to do something where there's a big, great thing for Renell, West Virginia, because I know the people that believe in that project still want it done. I know there's people like they're Forever Beautiful in my eyes for caring about Iran, loving her grandkids. Our former First Lady, West Virginia, Gail Manchin, somebody that, you know, I said this video is going to go back to an action item right before I was born related to that. I wasn't around for the Vietnam War. I think people like Gail Manchin believe in projects like that getting finished. While I was homeless, somebody here in Denver actually told me. I found out about that Run for the Wall project, and it never got done. And you're the son. How come it never got done? I would love to find that person. That happened. I would love to be riding with Run for the Wall across America. I would love to maybe do it before they get to the towns they stop at and just connect with the people and do a documentary. But I don't think I can. I don't think it's the best thing for me to do. If I could, with $205,917.19, I believe that probably the best thing I can do is help the people right here. It may be what's best for me. It's good for me to be home now that I finally have one. And there's someone else out there that, if you believe in this dream, connecting with the people before they get to all these stops, and they do stop through Pueblo. There's three routes. They go from Ontario all the way to Washington, D.C. Right now, West Virginia is the last town they stop at, I think, overnight before they get to Washington. And a big part of it is like in Palm Springs, California, where so many of my friends and I would love to be. But I think there's a better purpose and a safer, greater use of my time. And like, we just had this video being right by the billionaires put up, and it shows the calamity of someone on Social Security that I work with has never stopped believing in Nathan. Sent me money I didn't ask for, and then my friend Gary asked, or cousin Gary needs help, and I don't have the $10 that Microsoft sucked out, and I can't even buy cereal and milk. I did get my cereal and milk. Chris, who defeated homelessness, it's already happened since last video, gave me some money, and I will have maybe a cigarette or maybe a cigar with me. I brought my props, brought things I could do. That is me today to get through this video. It's stressful being a country star. I could say that I have a goal So my goals are like, number one, somebody please out there, like if it was a single donor today as soon as possible, it'd be great. Because I would like to use most of the $18,664 to pay back the people that helped me. Like my coworker on Social Security from Dish at the call center. Like other people that I think need the money right now. I still need glasses. I can tell you a very heartbreaking story would be interjected right now. There's been changes with a lot of us, right? With the Trump administration in this year, and real quickly, the way the Ryan White grant funding has traditionally paid for communication services like mobile service or home internet that I'm eligible for. There's been setbacks and delays where we're now having to wait for a disconnect notice, and we're paying late fees, and then they'll pay it. And I'm sure that the administration or whoever's doing the changes, maybe you want it to function better. And I've got a lot to say on things you might not expect. But one thing for sure is something that happened. It's causing hardship. People with heart, like a disabled U.S. veteran that defeated homelessness, is the one that believed in paying that Xfinity bill so it wouldn't get shut off. It's how I'm uploading this video when I get back to my apartment. There is internet right here at Cheeseman Park. Many people might not think we need to have Wi-Fi here, and I think that it can be doing a lot of good. It could be a safety thing. We'll do a whole video on, do we need Wi-Fi at Cheeseman Park? Do we need to be spending over $40 million for public art? You can see some of that on one of my how you watch videos, like overnight. The boomers are a sorry and ungrateful people. Something like that. Right there at Alameda Station, I think. That's public art, right? I've been trying to think about other things, like the mural of Theodore Roosevelt, who said, do what you can, where you are, is what you have. The one near the Park and Lawrence Denver Rescue Mission, it says, Denver, love this city. I have been thinking about maybe Nathan should get involved in like a public art project. You should know that mural in Princeton, West Virginia, in honor of all veterans. Nathan Acosta feels like Prince Philip, but Nathan Acosta is tired. Nathan Acosta is stressed. Nathan Acosta needs the $18,664 to buy socks and underwear and actually shoes that aren't maybe used. Because these right here, I have a story. I think they belong in the Smithsonian real soon. But that In Honor of All Veterans mural was painted in 2002, and me and my brother Drew were working on it before the sun came up, and we were working on it after the sun came down. We were still working on it. Tom Acosta and Eldon Justice were the men, I believe, compensated for that by the POW MIA right there. There were other murals and projects came along in Princeton, but that one was the first one. I believe it's still there. And given what's happened since 2002, it's just been on my heart a lot. I'll be contacting lots and lots of people after I get this video up. And you gotta know, I believe in Nathan being, you know, the change maker to help eradicate homelessness. Do a large part, the largest that I can. I believe in like 3 million subscribers on YouTube. If not this channel, maybe I'll have to make another one. I have to do it the very best way that I can. I'm hopeful that this video will get a lot of views, stir a lot of conversation with a lot of different groups. Sure will. You'll find out more about that in the video. I still haven't explained what I want to spend the $205,917.19 on. Well, if you go back to expect the unexpected, It's linked in the description. That's the day, July 11th, 2024, when I'm in San Francisco, and I knew I was likely to maybe, hopefully, get approved for the Homeward Bound grant. I knew it was likely because the reason I was applying for it after fleeing Denver for everyone's best personal safety, and because I couldn't feel like I could make anything more beneficial happen, it was time for something new. So I went to San Francisco with very little money. And yeah, videos I want to reference. A quick one would be I Have to Wing It. The more detailed, diamonds are the only reason we have beautiful dreams at all. And what you have to know, kind of acknowledge, is Nathan already has done the very best he possibly could to have survived and made the right decision time and time again. A lot of this channel is about family values, asking those questions. Does Nathan know right from wrong? Did he make the right decision? There will be controversy, speculation, and disagreements on that, for sure. Drugs, Dreams, and the Deadliest Sins, one of my favorite pieces. Done around June 11th, I believe, is when it was published. And then on July 11th, the homeless shelter there gave me a 7-minute notice. Homeward Bound grant has been approved because you've been called back to Denver because we've been able to verify you're second on the list for housing there. They need you back in Denver so that you can get the housing you've been waiting for through being diligent and finding homelessness, keeping up with your appointments, just staying on top of things. You're ready. It's time to go home. And so they gave me 7-minute notice for me to grab everything. They probably thought I'd probably have the video going, and I did. I was completely surprised that there was a Cadillac Escalade. Maybe it was ordered via Uber Black. Don't really know how it happened, but that was the vehicle that was going to take me to the airport. I have not done the video referenced in that video. Be Iconic, from California to Colorado. That homeless shelter was aware of a YouTube channel. There were several people there I talked to and showed it to. And they gave me the best goodbye. In the full video that happens pretty much the whole day there, I tell you, it wasn't a Cadillac Escalade that got me all the way to the airport. There was a stop, and then it was a Lexus sedan. I hope to have that video up. Also linked would be, so diamonds are the only reason we have beautiful dreams at all. Just a while on the Amtrak. That's when I did that video, explaining the best I could, bigger story, why I was going to California and everything. And then I have that day right before, about a week before, America the Beautiful, It's All For You. A portion at the beach, at Marshall Beach, where I'm butt naked and homeless. After being homeless every single second, and also homeless in Welch, West Virginia, and Atlanta, in North Wilkesboro, 5 miles from the birthplace of the longest serving senator in United States history. Aware of so much. The bathtub portion of America the Beautiful, It's All For You, happened a few days, maybe a day or two after July 11th, when I arrived back in Colorado. What I want to spend the $205,917.19 on, the equivalent of what Elaine McMillan Sheldon did with the Hollow documentary, I believe is very ill-fated. I believe her link in the descriptions for you all will. A really good thumbnail, like that image. Maybe not the best video. I was under so many stresses. It's when I was providing hotel room for my friend Brian Thomas, U.S. Army veteran, served in Iraq, drove a truck, working and using points, and at the very best hotel accommodations I can provide, and just so many things. I want to use the $205,917.19 because I thought about what I want to do. I want people to support the $18,664 GoFundMe. First, I like to tweet a lot. I already have. And recently, and I would like that people know how I felt when I saw that Cadillac Escalade and I was greeted And I felt the energy of this nation. And getting to the airport, it was a Southwest flight, but it was 2 or 4 Rolls-Royce engines Team USA paid for me to get back to Colorado. And I've got video of the airplane taking off and the Golden Gate Bridge down there. I haven't watched it in a long time, but then I got back to Union Station with no notice, no time to plan. I had been gone for 3 months from Denver and was immediately stuck right there. After Union Station closed, the dead phone close to it, and having to scram immediately. It's too late to go to the homeless shelter. What do you do? Right? It's our friends. Mr. Jeff Bezos, if you get to watch this video, one of your employees helped me survive that night. To his home where the bath portion of America the Beautiful, It's All For You is taken. I tell you, well, I want to buy our own. And however this is, I don't really want to get all caught up in meetings and this dragging out and it being something that when it just happened. Okay. And I'll thought a little bit about that, but I would like to have the Cadillac Escalade IQ. So they're calling it the top of the line. This thing is bad, right? Because I would like to be here in Denver, and I have a very targeted and demonstrated purpose on how I'd use this vehicle. I'd be self-employed, or I would be the change maker, philanthropist, all in one, gaining my YouTube subscribers, and being a point of rescue when someone gets hurt on a scooter and they're homeless, like I was in August 2024, and you go back to Denver Rescue Mission, and we end up with the Talking To's Denver Rescue Mission I'll never forget. I did a video recently. I talked about at the start of this video, filling out a sink. Well, there's a video that I did recently. I haven't got on YouTube yet, and I need to get it done up. I went back to the Denver Rescue Mission to check on if Todd is still there. Who was, I believe, the individual you can hear. It's saying he works there. And then he says, I think I have a white Lincoln. Get the fuck out of the way, bro. Denver Rescue Mission needs to know hope starts through a different way. But I have an even better purpose than just trying to wait for someone to have a wreck while they're homeless on a scooter. It's very, very close to my heart, and one I think that makes the most sense. You see, my dentist is the best. Before I even went homeless, my dentist was telling me, advising me to make an appointment with the University of Colorado at Aurora campus for oral surgery and get my molars removed, and I never have done that. I was so busy working to try to not be homeless in spring and summer 2022 that I really just never did pursue that. My dentist is the best. There was an experience while homeless, and what I want to say is, while I was homeless, finding that in Denver, I always knew when I came to the dentist, which is the same organization where they administer the housing voucher, it's where the food bank is, that I said in yesterday's video I was going to go to. I'm not going to go to my dentist appointment today. And it's sad. I like to go. I just think it's likely I'll stay at home and work on my anything can happen video, this video and others. And it's very much something where you should know the dentist is the best. It is a display of the lead dentist, I believe, it's a great celebration of diversity. And we see this again, like on my 721st day homeless, when I'm at that 7-Eleven in downtown Denver, and I'm saying it's the one closest to the homeless shelter, and that it's run by a group of people that's from a different place, and that we have a lot of strength in our diverse groups and people from different places. It's what America's about. So I want to say that. But I will say that the dentist, while I was homeless, going there always made me feel like I don't have to worry about my teeth. They're going to make me feel great. They're going to be kind, assuring, and understanding. They're experts in their field. There was a time, well, when I was awaiting a SNAP phone interview for my food stamps. They had to do a certification phone interview. And I said, look, they're going to call, and it's going to be during our appointments. When they call, this is like going to determine if I'll be able to have SNAP more quickly or not. So we like paused, and sure enough they called, and we paused the dental procedure so that I could get that done. There was another time when, do you remember like when Madonna had the Grammys? Little story here. And she had that cosmetic surgery. And she looked different. And I feel like her people were like, let's tie your hair up. You look like Princess Leia. And then she was like, I want to go in there looking like Jabba the Hutt and Princess Leia. Madonna. And best boomer. And she believed that I'm going to look whatever I look like at the Grammys this time. But I'm already believing in that world tour I'm going to do. And she's more hotter today than ever before in her entire lifetime. She loves her kids. Like Pamela Anderson. Linked in the description. A very good one. At least as famous as Pamela Anderson. Right. Do you want to meet her? Yes. But I would like to help people by way of owning a Cadillac Escalade IQ. Like I said, I'd like to really maybe have like 2 of them, because there's someone in my life, or could be. There's someone specifically I knew me in my dreams. He is somebody that was part of the story right before I went homeless, and still was on my 373rd day homeless when I saw him again, and we were both caring about the right things. Terry, that individual that's 24 years old, ADHD, special needs, and defeated homelessness on New Year's Eve, 2024. And I got good news on Terry. He's back in his housing. I would like to go see him. His case manager and I talked the other day. He's too far for me to get to. We've reduced our Lime scooter access, like challenges with the Xfinity Wi-Fi, which believes in Nathan, because I got this iPad doing my notes. But I have no case. I have really only 10 bus tickets a month and 3 rides per day. Food stamps or Medicaid. Just Google Denver micromobility Lime. It's changing to the Bird scooter program, from what I understand. I've got a video. I want to get up. I go back to where I was at a scooter wreck. We'll see that probably soon. But I would like to spend this $205,000 plus on a Cadillac Escalade IQ. And this thing's bad. It is fast. It is top of the line. I know that Cadillac Escalades are available through Uber, and I'd like for them to be a partner. Well, Lyft or whatever, however it can happen. But I'm just saying the swiftest, most efficient way is if somehow people just start believing that if Nathan believes in that dentist, and always did. And I'll tell you, there was a time I was in Charleston, West Virginia at the clinic in East End, the free clinic for people qualified, that I was there. And very much that dentist there. There was a time where my tooth was chipped. Was this before or after I was kidnapped? But it was really hard. I think it was right before. And that dentist there said they were like contemplating, should we pull it out or not? And I think that they were gonna, I don't know, I can't remember, but I think that they were not wanting, they would just observe diagnose the tooth might be lost, and maybe we'll do this another day. I think that's kind of how it was left. It ended up, I already knew the dentist here was really good when I was in San Francisco, and I found out I was coming back. It was one of the things I was thinking about in that Cadillac Escalade. I cannot wait to go back to the dentist. I'm telling you, I'm not going to go to the dentist today and have an appointment. I might go. I don't know. We don't know what the future holds. I haven't even created the $18,664 GoFundMe or the $205,000 one, but I do have all of them linked. I've got the $1 billion GoFundMe, and why did I create that? We'll get to it. Because it was kind of done maybe hastily, but it was done for a purpose. So I always believed in getting to this dentist appointment, going to the dentist where I go. There are 2, at least, organizations in Denver where I could go. The dentist here, the dental team here has the best when you're going through the worst. And it's just true. And this is going to start making, this is the point you've been waiting for. If people can get to their dental appointments at an organization that does case management, housing vouchers, resources out the wazoo, connections to other organizations, hotel vouchers for homeless people, so much stuff, other healthcare. If people can get to the dentist, and when you go to the dentist, whether you're homeless or not, you gotta get there sober, and you gotta have your blood pressure taken. And when you are homeless and you're going to the dentist, a lot of times these appointments, the way this organization likes to do it sometimes, I've seen it happen a lot, it's happened to me before, they will want to book a lot of appointments for your health care, your case management, maybe your therapy. I went to therapy, link to the description on that. I will say I'm going to therapy even though I don't want to. And I said the therapist believes in herself. And I'm right there at First and Downing, where it's pretty much the premier real estate in the state of Colorado. That's where I will be if I go to the food bank today to get my dental appointment. I mean, pretty much do both. I will be carrying a heavy box of food and a heavy backpack laden down with not the 4 allowed trips to the food bank there that was allowed. Now it's 2. So you got to carry more. And I will have to get on 2 different buses and wait. We just had this rain. It's chance to rain likely later today. I'm not doing it because I've already walked 100 miles while homeless every single month or thereabouts. I could show all my health data from my iPhone. I've already done all that, and I will get SNAP on the 3rd. There's grocery stores, 2 of them real close to me. I would like to help people get to their dental appointments, and I love that dentist. And I do believe that if people can get to that dental appointment and do it in a way that I felt the people that are most in need, maybe the organization can help say, who's got appointments today? Do we have, if they can be involved, it'd be great. They don't have to be. There is a coffee shop, a locally owned coffee shop, real close, like in the same parking lot as that organization in Denver. And I could be doing something like college coffee, which was on Tuesday mornings, I think, at Elon University. I could be like, let's do a coffee run. And turns out you also got a dentist appointment right here. Well, maybe you'll just have to get your coffee after your dentist appointment. Maybe it could start that way. Seriously, so that it is something where I am creating change and starting the community and getting more people involved, because I don't want to do this alone. I really don't. I got a good story here. We'll get to it soon. I haven't been able to prioritize getting to the dentist after I defeated homelessness as much as I'd like to, because I've been prioritizing other appointments. My needs changed or whatnot. And I don't really want to be on disability. I want this channel to grow, or to grow on YouTube so quickly, so fast. 3 million subscribers, 1 for every homeless person in this country today, would pretty much help me generate the income I would need for that second Cadillac Escalade IQ. I don't want to do it alone in a single one. I would love people like Andrew Harrison Acosta, my brother, to be with me. Or people like, there's a lady named Ginger Day. There's a man named Patrick Corcoran. They're from McDowell County, West Virginia. they'd be great in the front seat. If I could just do what I did in 2018, be a pretty quiet Uber driver, and this big old bad SUV, it's got plenty of room, it's fast. Maybe we could have days where we go to the Denver Public Library, which spent... Okay, so the Cadillac Escalade IQ, the 2025. I don't know if the 26s are out yet, but the MSRP on the Cadillac website is $159,420. Okay, so I'd like to use the $205,000. It's the goal. There'll be a percentage thereabouts is what I would like to have. Right? Money and PNC Bank. And then I would like to have like a salary somehow, and do it in a way that I'm, contributing and giving back, and like right there with that philanthropic arm that I've talked about since I mentioned I want to do something major. And what happened to the most beautiful homeless girl in the world? Well, I want continuity. If this can be done, if we just get the goal of somebody donating to the $18,664, the money I lived on while homeless, 43% of it was provided by me. If we can get that accomplished, we're going to be able to, like, Nathan could take an Uber tomorrow to the food bank, get his food. And, with the goal of, like, you should know, Drew Acosta, my brother, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, works, I believe, at an Amazon fulfillment center, loads and unloads trucks. Did come to Denver before I got promoted out here in 366 days and went on vacation out here. It was the right thing, I guess, to do. He went with his roommate, David. Maybe David could be in the vehicle with me and my brother as we're taking people to their very necessary dental appointments. Maybe they're fighting homelessness. Maybe they're having the worst day of their entire life or going through something like that. And nobody should ever be at the dentist and have that best team. See, noticing a theme here where, like, the homeless shelter in San Francisco gave me that Cadillac Escalade, and I was kind of left all alone hours later at Union Station. Just, the magic stopped. Nobody should be having their food bank food on an RTD train, and that slogan is people who move people. And we should have numb teeth and gums from the dentist, a big old heavy bag or box of food bank food, and all their belongings in a backpack. And then be at a blackout on a train and not sure if they can actually make it to wherever they think they could possibly stay, but aren't for sure because there's a blackout. Maybe you have no phone data, can't get in touch with the people you're going to go see that helped before because there's blackouts, because there's a power shortage when Taylor Swift's doing her concert at the Broncos Stadium, just owned by the Walton family, I believe. I think. Things like that are why I want to be in this Cadillac Escalade, and maybe incorporating, while you're at your appointment, maybe we can be doing something where, if you're going to have a housing voucher at the Lucky You Motel, for example, I believe the Ryan White grant from the 80s did dictate, it's in that video, linked in the description, when the homeless shelter ran out of food. I just blame Ronald Reagan for it. That people living with HIV, if they were homeless, the money has to be used for a minority-owned business motel, lodging accommodations that way. There's a few different ones in Denver. It changes. I don't know specifics on all this. We got a lot of change. But I'm saying, to show continuity and go back to the heart of the legislators in the 1980s and Ronald Reagan himself. All right. Watch Favorite Ladies of the 80s. On my enduring love for Nancy Reagan. Link in the description. But maybe it could be something where it happened to me so many times, or just often, frequently. You get to the Lucky You, which is great because there's heart there. There's rules. It is a place of, like, I think it should be on the National Register of Historic Places. But it has this, they have kitchenettes. They do. It's an old motel from like the 40s. It's owned by, I believe, Korean people now. But they have kitchenettes. You have your food bank food. You might have your 2-week voucher. And I've said plenty of times in other videos, well, first you should know you might not have kitchen utensils, right? You might have your eggs, but no pan and a stove. But you're there for 2 weeks. So you're not really being able to, like, this is so heartbreaking. Do what you need to do to defeat homelessness. Get your rest or go back to work or continue on, maybe launching your own GoFundMe for supporting an extra couple weeks from whoever can help, right? Maybe this ride with Nathan and his brother or other people from his life. Maybe it's the most beautiful homeless girl in the world. Maybe it's video. You're very much encouraged to watch. Link description. What happened to the most beautiful homeless girl in the world? You'll see another predicament of how I can't bring the best of country star to you because of all these stupid bottlenecks. I can't work because the 10th social security card is just become. Nathan's been thinking of what to do, and this is it. Maybe you could be at the place like that, particularly for homeless. You need to go to dentist. Dentist is the best. They're gonna, if you're at the disappointment, and if you have the confidence that Nathan's gonna pick you up, maybe I have to check your blood pressure before we get on the way, so we know we got the right person to take with us to have this magical day of loving cares and the best support possible. And maybe it could be somebody. The organization there has like the best team, and I think would learn so much and be so happy if they could ride with me. My case manager right now is on vacation, and I'm glad that he is. I am. I hope he gets a good rest. He's a great guy. He said once, I got a problem with the calendar. I said, what? He said, I'm seeing too many of them. He's very experienced in the whole system here in Denver, and just want him to know I appreciate him, and I know he's been challenged with all these changes so much. If we get him to the deal appointment, to go through my experiences that I've been referencing, nobody should have a certainty of where they're going to be staying with their food. It's summertime, that time, at Taylor Swift concert, and the frozen food's thawing out, and I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to stay where I'm trying to get to, but the train's, the blackouts, and, nobody understands. But if you're in that Cadillac Escalade, you can be connected to the most knowledgeable people who could do this on Twitter, right? So that's what I would like to do. Very much start with something specific, like let's make sure I can get you every day. I can spend the people where I live. I think my neighbor Lou, a U.S. veteran of Vietnam War, would very much be thrilled to know Nathan has invested some of that $18,664 in like a Denver Parks and Recs membership. I came to this side of the city because I wanted all along to live where I live, and I wanted to be going back to something I used to do in like middle school, swimming in the morning, working out, having muscle is something that is unusual for homeless people. We don't get the protein and the necessary having enough food at all. It's always a problem. Being muscular is it is something people with homes maybe not realize. You are able to have a bulk physique and the time to go work out because you have a home. I don't want the disabled $75 a year membership. I want like a full-fledged Nathan can go to any Parks and Recs center provided by the city of Denver, county of Denver. He wants to go to and bring a friend. Why not? I would like to just see Denver. I have a little bit in like the warm from the inside out, where I'm at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. Why am I there? Because the very best person I could stay with after being in a dangerous situation had to watch LinkedIn Description's wedding vows. I had to find somewhere warm to be in the snow. And that was the very best place. If you go to museumsforall.org, no matter where you are in this country, you should just check out what's available at museumsforall.org if you've got a SNAP card. But that's what happened. Okay. I believe in therapy. I just don't believe it was the best situation with me and that therapist. She couldn't resolve Tom Acosta. And then you see like what I'm talking about, I don't have an income. I don't have a way to do the things I need to do. I'm so frustrated. And then we end up with a video like introducing the McDowell County, West Virginia Festival of Turds, which is not at all my hope for what's going to happen this year, this Veterans Day, this complete recovery I'm wanting to have in McDowell County. I don't even know if my Aunt Jeannie... Oh, and did I finish this part? Homer Hickam, NASA scientist from Moore, West Virginia, where October Sky, that movie is about him, loved my tweet about Aunt Jeannie Wheeler being the shining legacy that will bring his family forward. I never acknowledged other things. Jeanette Walls of the Glass Castle, a net worth, I believe, of $5 million. Steve Harvey in Family Feud, a net worth of more. Could be believing in this dream so much. People gotta arrive sober and a Cadillac Escalade IQ. Nathan wants, and I believe in this, I think it can happen. I would like to have like UAs myself in a way that's, I don't know, in partnership with whoever or whatever it needs to be done, but I would like to be able to have the confidence that I did on probation for a DUI in 2020. Probation was 2021. Compliant with that. I would like to go back and revisit my probation officers. And I had such a heartbreaking experience with, these were ladies that saw and believed in Nathan, made a mistake. What I can tell you about the DUI, my mother and she ordered Israeli food for me on my birthday. And she was in Switzerland, it was COVID, and then I went to go get cigarettes at the 7-Eleven I could see from my patio, right? But these ladies at the probation office believed in Nathan and thought that he got through it. He was compliant and successful there. And then I remember reaching out to one of them when I was at getting, and things I'll talk about, the male hardships video linked in the description. Very much one you should watch. Telling her I'm just registering for mail and getting ready to be a client at the Denver Rescue Mission, and she just said like almost no response. I would like to come back now in a Cadillac Escalade IQ. I have her be part of it. Be a magic bullet. Help in partnership with Denver Rescue Mission as much as I can. Help with Denver Health for life's journey. I could say my primary care team has a lot of heart. Say that we've got many examples of the emergency room not. In addition to homeless health emergency, I think there's a little playlist linked in the description, and one when I got robbed twice at work, helping a friend do a job, robbed my social, birth, and license in a backpack, and then also the Denver Rescue Mission later apologized for I was compliant there for bed checks. I certainly was. And then said, we shouldn't have apprehended all your personal property, all your prescription medications. We shouldn't have left you in just with your flip-flops, your gym shorts, t-shirt, your phone and phone chargers, all the possessions you had. And so no wonder you called 911 by the trade tracks for suicide. And then hours later, I'm discharged. I'd like to go talk to the, if I can, specific emergency room doctor who just kind of guided the security officers to just, if I wasn't going to get on a bus with a dead phone and I was already suicidal, they couldn't think of anything else to do, just take me to Starbucks. Right? I'd like to connect with Starbucks. If there's manager employee there, I'd like for her to be part of it. We could be supporting this coffee shop, the locally owned coffee shop across the street where I would be boarding the bus if I was going to go today, or when I go, how I've done it many times. It would be, let's see, we're at an hour and 5 minutes. There's a Mexican restaurant. Nathan could tell you that he believes in pizza very much, and I could go on to that many ways. It's alluded to a little bit in a Jim Justice watch involving pizza. Pizza at Angelo's Pizza in Princeton, West Virginia. Very good pizza there. Also in San Francisco. Remarkable stories I have with pizza. Mexican food, I have less. And it would be a continuity thing if that, I could be taking people to go have lunch. Having a regular way of bringing people, arriving them, and taking them back to where they're going. Having a full day of loving cares. Maybe it could be something where, I don't know, that thing is real fast. But Nathan's a good driver. And he is. I was a great Uber driver, 2018. I drove in Philadelphia like for 12 hours a day. That never worked out because the vehicle needed repairs, and all the money I earned to try to move to Philadelphia had to be invested in just getting me back home. A government big enough to give you all that you want is also strong enough to take it away. Ronald Reagan said it. I believe I might be resonating with people who voted for Donald Trump and are probably hopeful and confident in it's for the best, in a way, of all these changes that maybe people of the opposite spectrum are horrified by, right? Nathan believes in that. That's why Nathan wants this video, others on the channel. I can have, I don't know, I did make a playlist the other day called Certified Gold or something. These are videos that I think would be really qualifying of, reaching a phenomenal number of views to where it just turns out maybe soon, maybe before too long, right? Because we need that complete recovery in Welch. We need that right now situation done for the run for the wall. Nathan doesn't believe in being the one himself to ride with the riders. Just feels like it would probably be best if I was productive and driving and doing something I love to do, connecting with people. I loved being an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, but I want to do it in a way when you are being discharged from the hospital and told to go to Starbucks, or maybe it's Aurora Medical Center, happened where the social worker at the hospital discharged me. Oh, you got an appointment at the Denver Rescue Mission admin building. And I could tell you that there was no proper business for me to have there. And I was on a bike or scooter for 6 hours looking for somewhere to go. When things like that happen, and I don't want to blame anybody specifically, but I just know that it's probably still going on, that there is this sort of country star cares. So does Cadillac, or Nathan owns one. But I'm not alone, because don't they have OnStar? And that thing's just it's the fanciest thing there is. Maybe we take people from those kind of stressful, bad situations, and we just say, you know what? Have you ever been up to the Golden Overlook?
Nathan found hope in Golden multiple times while homeless, and before. I don't think I've really been there much after. But the Golden Overlook is a place I haven't been to since before I was homeless. But you can get there. It's right by the Coors Beer Distillery plant. I have been having dreams and wanting to do things like maybe everybody that's ever been homeless, or everybody that's on disability or in an unlikely position to ever be at a Rockies game, be at one. Right? Wouldn't it be great? Maybe they're reunited with their families via Amtrak. Nathan believes in Amtrak. Nathan's experience on Amtrak while homeless, and that diamonds are the only reason we have beautiful dreams at all. It's probably the best, of it that's already up. Amtrak was something that I didn't feel homeless when I was on it. And I'm trying to get to the end of this video. Getting people to their dental appointments as they're sober and confident and hopeful and in a good spirit, and I don't think I'm alone in knowing that dental team is the best. It provides a better efficiency, and this is a nonpartisan thing for the people who know, we need to thrive together. And this is America's first all-American city. This is a very unique situation with who I am. Bracing there to not say who I am, because I do say that word. It might be one of my cardinal sins. Or a sin that I get down for. Wanting to rescue people hurt on scooters. Wanting the Denver Health for Life's journey. When you go into the emergency room, it's really good. I will say that. When you are there, it's just turned out to me, in my experience and others I've known, that you don't feel the same way of feeling hope that you did when you walked in. I don't know what can be fixed, but I know that if wherever you're going to go next, I could be their person, sometimes that would be great. I would like people to be with me on this. One thing I'd spend on the $18,664 GoFundMe would be a full-size mattress, because somebody gave me a full-size bed frame, but not a mattress. That bed frame does have 165 parts to it. I don't know, but I've got that second bedroom. I have the lease through the end of August, and it is, a guest can stay with me for 2 nights. So what a beautiful thing for someone to have a pathway to come see Nathan. Maybe it's someone he knows from his life. That's where I'm kind of believing it. And it could be Drew Acosta. It could be all these other people like Ginger Day or Patrick Corcoran. Maybe it could be Elon University's Dr. Archibald. Maybe it could be someone else from Elon University like Ashley Bush, I believe, who worked at Walmart for a long time. Maybe it could be rapper Petey Pablo, and I'll do videos on him. And correlating, best way I can describe it in a nutshell: no questions, no autographs, the dry rotted something. It was lost. Maybe before I even got there. I was number 1 in the country at helping organization pass state legislation at a historic level. Maybe it could be people like Hope and David Reagan. Yeah, I'm related to the Reagans. Might be related to J.D. Vance, our vice president, and Hope and David Reagan. Absolutely, they are. Hope is Steve Trevet's first daughter. And they welcomed me into that family about the time I saw Neil Diamond at Lawrence Stowe Veterans Memorial Coliseum. One of the happiest memories with my mother. We've got videos in the works about the happiest moment with Tom Acosta from his perspective and mine. 2 different memories. Trying to make this video quick as I can. Hope and David Reagan, though, around the time we went, it was when my mother, Neil Diamond, came in to do a show in Winston-Salem as my mother was kind of wrapping up, finishing her divorce and on a new path in life. And linked in the description would be a video I have already completed about how they believed in this dream of coming in to Florida and introducing Steve to the family, and in that Mercedes-Benz, and they could have came in anything. They could have came in whatever kind of like had going on for the first Escalade. Brooke, Hope's sister, already had a Cadillac Escalade. Linked to description would be a video I did right after I got back from California. Drunker, it's called number 1 in the country, or Drunk and Pregnant. Mom did not stay married to Steve, but Hope and David welcomed me in that family like around the holidays, and as we were first meeting them. And Steve had been married before, and he is the very best at fixing vehicles and teaching other people that. We need him very much. We need to see him with Brooke. Maybe like cutting my hair, or being a part of this thing where a Cadillac Escalade leads to anybody that's ever cut my hair, especially people that did while I was homeless or before that, like Toby Fazenfeld, my old neighbor, when I'm getting a standing ovation at the SCORE, West Virginia State Senate Task Force, Southern Coalfields Organizing and Revitalizing the Economy in, is that Beckley? Or Princeton? I can't remember where it was. Patrick drove me to it. I speak on it at the How I Found Heroism in Yellow Mansion video, which is gonna get redone because it doesn't play right, but it's there, right? It's me over 500 days homeless, and I'm talking about how I found heroism in Yellow Mansion. And I'm referring to this moment where, as I'm referring to in the video that was done this year, but I'm recalling the experience of speaking at the SCORE Task Force, where I got a standing ovation from West Virginia state senators, and talking about my neighbor here is a felon, and he believes in this dream of cold cut sandwiches. Toby cut my hair in 2014. Okay, I'd love to see him be reunited with anybody that's ever cut my hair, because the barber that cut my grandfather Louis Acosta's hair isn't around anymore. I don't know if Deb in my hometown, Mount Airy, is around anymore. I remember being at Deb's when Michael Jackson was white as a ghost on Oprah, and we weren't looking at that TV because Rita was getting a new hairdo, and I was just a little kid, but I remember them times. I think that, like, cosmetology, and I think there was a way of this at the San Francisco homeless shelter, and I think there is some of it at the Denver Rescue Mission, maybe an opportunity for, you know, can it happen like it happened for Bill Clinton at LAX, right? $200 haircut. More expensive than that, I think, due to he had to get a haircut right there. Like, I don't know of all the details, but if you could put $200 in a haircut for people at, like, maybe Brooke or anybody like that knows me. But entrepreneurship, and have we all seen the movie The Barbershop? We know it's a community thing, and there's spaces available, and I think people can believe in, you know, it's a barbershop, but it's a barbershop with heart. Maybe Bill Clinton himself could be a part of it. I don't know. But I'm really asking and thinking about, well, I gotta tell you a story. The last person that cut my hair, or person that cut my hair, definitely while I was homeless, I met him recently, and he said that he was worried about ever being able to afford the repairs that he needs on a vehicle. And I'm like, you do so good. I wish you'd believe in cutting hair again and want to. And what better way of this question and conversation about what would you do if you could cut hair and want to do it and be in this community of people. Maybe at the Denver Rescue Mission there is, I think, facilities right there that can be available, or if not, there's also some really good places, really magical places right near the 48th Street permanent bed facility. But it could be, I'm just saying, we need to get 1% into places like the Denver Rescue Mission. I did a video, I hope to maybe make it public. I don't know why I even made it private, but it's one of me at the soccer field, real close to the 48th Street permanent bed facility at the Rescue Mission. Early on, when I'm talking a lot, referencing my mother and the Royals is what I remember about it. Melania Trump said to be best, and she, I believe, is part of this documentary about her, or I think Amazon, I don't know the details, don't quote me specifically on knowing all this information, but it's a $40 million documentary. I did create $1 billion GoFundMe and a haste. It's a Catholic Church, $900 million pledged overnight. And I assume that for Melania Trump, this documentary is the very best way she knows how to live. And my opinions and thoughts on Melania Trump are evolving, but you will see in America the Beautiful. It's all for you. I very much did a acknowledgement of what it must be like, and even correlating that right next to her with Janet Jackson, right? I think we all have a story to tell, and I think that we'd like it to be done in ways of like helping my friend with $200 haircuts, helping somebody experience that in a magical way. And what can a homeless person do with $200 is a perfect question. It's like playing Monopoly, going around that board game, right? You collected $200 in a set way or whatever, but what can you really do? You can get a P.O. box. You can get probably the things that you really need to get to the next step. And if we had this metric of this is a service people are providing and it's uplifting the community, it doesn't even have to be done in Denver, right? We have precedents of Bill Clinton on that tarmac wherever, LAX, Air Force One, had to get that haircut, right? Make it living history. Make it a #1 New York Times bestseller. I wish Brooke, my ex-stepsister, would come to Denver and tell us all about good times, and Leah, the cat, and everything that we remember. Let me get to a story about two friends that happened recently. I hope that this video is one that you're surprised by, that you like it. You can see the hope in my eyes. Fire's deep in his eyes. Link to the description. Well, I have a video called "How Is This Our Responsibility?" Whole Foods, Amazon, and Kroger, King Supers, when Denver Health fails. And that's the one about my friend Terry, the 24-year-old who's, good news, you know, he's in his housing again. Great. I can't go see him because it's just too far for me to get him. And that video is very much one where I'm like, he's coming to me, and, you know, I can't be the one that turns him away, because I have seen what happens when you show up with no phone, no shoes, maybe a bus ticket, maybe no directions, nowhere to go, except Nathan is the one that helped me defeat homelessness, and before that took me to see my dad when he was homeless across town at 105 degrees, bring the phone charger, never knowing what to expect when you get to the hotel, bring this person just met literally the night before. And I stayed at 3 different places, but I bring him to the hotel, and the father's deserted and went back to Nebraska or somewhere. And it's that emotional collapse and the Taylor Swift blackouts, and it wasn't blackouts then. It was a really hard day. Okay, Barbara Moore at the Chad's Ford Gallery in Brandywine Valley, outskirts of right there, Wilmington, Delaware. Same street as DuPont. I think, right there in Chad's Ford, PA, where Tom Acosta was in the Wythe Gallery. Barbara Moore was believing with me in that day and how I wrote about that experience. How is this our responsibility? Well, if it's going to be my responsibility, I need to be able to do it in like a Cadillac, Escalade, IQ. I want to stay in Colorado. I'd like to visit Fort Lyons, which was a place over at Jennifer Care's. I heavily considered going to Fort Lyons, a place that you can defeat homelessness, but you'd be far away from Denver, and I can never get enough information to make a knowledgeable decision on that. I would like to go visit Fort Lyons. Maybe what I could be doing with this Cadillac Escalade IQ is taking people at Fort Lyons to come up here and be at Cheeseman Park or a Colorado Rockies game, or see their family in Denver, or take them to the airport or to an Amtrak station, probably Union Station. I love the Amtrak experience, how it made me feel not homeless. For $500, you can get a rail pass, which I believe is 10 destinations in 30 days. Yes, Joe Biden loves Amtrak. Guess who loves being the best? The Trumps. Right? Right now, we are at this magical moment where it's not going 200 miles an hour. You get to see the country and the city. I got to see Salt Lake City, and I bet there's many people like the Griffins, the family that's believed in Nathan longer than anyone at critical times while homeless. The Griffins would be a family that is the member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and so would be Arizona State Senator David Farnsworth, who I just was doing some Google research and found your bill, State Bill, is it 1453, I think? Before we get into what his bill is about, and Mr. Farnsworth, I really hope that you're watching this, maybe one of the first, because I'm sending it to you as quick as I can, however that can happen. I believe that bill lost steam, but it is one that I gotta tell the story about my two friends before we get into that. Recently, it's two friends that I've had since before I went homeless. I've known both of them since 2020, and having a continuity, as I've said, I've crossed this nation while homeless 6 times, stayed at over 300 different places, survived 2 other worst nightmares, knowing Tom Acosta needs to get resolved, and surviving interstate kidnapping, walking back to the state of West Virginia just so I could leave it, and crossing this nation without a phone, so my family, which would be anybody I love, I guess, would have my phone number, and none of my, so I could come back to Denver, escape the kidnappers, be in a safer place, replace the phone as quick as I could, and be as safe as I could across this nation with less than $15 in my pocket without a phone. And then I had to go to San Francisco and come back and have the hardest 3 months while homeless, apart from West Virginia. But my two friends, one of them is fighting homelessness. Saw him yesterday, and I had a great day yesterday. Being at home, friends came to see me, caring and thinking about everyone. But it was another occasion a little earlier, and these two friends and I were together, and I don't believe all three of us. We all knew each other, knew of each other, but this is the first time I think two of them and me were hanging out. I defeated homelessness. One of them was not homeless, and the other one is fighting homelessness. The one who's not homeless won $4,000 or over that. A little over $4,000, like instantly, just kind of like on an app, on a phone, just kind of like mindlessly, just kind of like part of his daily routine was, I don't know how they work, but I did do one myself. I didn't spend more than 15 minutes on it, but it was like, come back tomorrow and play again, and you win some, like, it was like one of them kind of things. I don't know. As soon as he won the money, it was very awkward because the other one, of course, is homeless. I don't have an income, have not been able to earn one. And that friend who won the money got in a bad mood and left. And then I went to go see him later, a few days later, and I found out he wants to spend the money on purchasing someone who is fearing they become homeless, on buying their vehicle, and he wants to take the vehicle so he can take his dog out of state to see his father, who has surgery coming up. This person, I don't know if military brat is the right phrase, but was not born on U.S. soil because their father served. This veteran is getting surgery, and his mother passed recently. This individual is not homeless, but is going through a lot of changes, and he wants to be able to take his dog in a way he can help. After winning these earnings, it just happened. Anything can happen, right? And he wants to be able to see his father. He's fearing he's just in a place where he's going through a lot of change with family, having gone through lots of change with people passing and stuff. And he wanted to use the money to help someone else so they wouldn't become homeless. And he also then got into a conversation with me in that second visit about, do people have the education and resources that I have on how to avoid ever becoming homeless at all? Are they doing things? Are they using the resources that have been available? And you tumbled into this, for me, this wave of like, we should have, like, we have health education and sex education. Maybe if you're at risk for risk factors in high school, like the school knows your parents are felons, divorced, and other risk factors, maybe you just go be with, like, I don't know, make it anonymous, you're in group B, and we're going to educate you on what to do. Nathan has believed in, like, wanting to reunite with his high school class so bad, and others in his life, but particularly looking at, I graduated in the class of 2005, 584 people, I believe, were my class, and I was like, I think I ranked 85th. Our valedictorian went to Stanford. And the second smartest person was my best friend. Is my best friend. One of my longest friendships. I didn't want to see her while I was homeless. And she's one of the people I paid back because I didn't know I'd be homeless for that long. I didn't know when I would have money that I would have it. So many irregularities, but my friend that was fighting homelessness still believes in that friend. And it's just the heart that these two friends have. They've known each other for like 15 years. The one who won the money might be actually leaving the state, maybe to go be closer with the family. He's had other losses, and it's just, I was in Atlanta or North Carolina homeless when he came to my apartment and said, oh, you got an eviction notice, oh, you already left, oh, you really, he's the one that experienced those things. So like I said, it's not a perfect video, but I'm going to wrap up here. Got a video I did where I'm at, where I do the I'm going to therapy even though I don't want to. video. It's not up yet, but it's on Christmas lights. And I'm with someone who I have defeated homelessness this Christmas. They are homeless, and helping them find the way of establishing mail access and things like that. We did that day, but this nation has resources for Christmas lights, right? But we don't have a really put together plan for when you have your food bank food and you don't know where you're going, and there's blackouts on the train for the Taylor Swift concert. It's kind of that way of things. That area where I did both videos, to equate it to something you might be able to relate to, if you're in Winston-Salem, city of my birth, where I was also homeless, I mentioned somewhere in like Ronaldo Village or 5 Points. If you're in my hometown somewhere up North Main Street, if you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, Oakwood neighborhood, if you're in McDowell County, West Virginia, it's wherever your children are smiling. So I like to do things like support locally owned businesses, like at coffee shop that's just there, and I don't think that it would mind a Cadillac Escalade IQ being there frequently, getting coffee and Mexican food. And all these things of a roundabout way can be utilized, and somebody out there could believe in it. Very much. However it can happen. We spent $60 million on that Denver Public Library main branch restoration. And when I was in San Francisco, they told me at the library there, you guys in Denver are the best. And they were very happy that I was working on that Homeward Bound grant to get back here. At Carl Madison Center, the Recreation Center, the one I wanted to work out at all along once I defeated homelessness. $44 million. Right? It took Nathan 126 days before he was able to acquire his own box of trash bags. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. I just want so many people in my life to come together and us have this healing and hopeful journey. And I think it starts, I would like my Aunt Jenny Wheeler to have a Cadillac Escalade IQ so she can get wherever she needs to go. Maybe it's an Amtrak station to see her grandchildren or come out and see Nathan. Maybe it is access like that can happen as part of a complete recovery for Little New York, honoring a commitment that was never honored by West Virginia University. And what I'm going to say here and wrapping it up is Arizona State Senator David Farnsworth has a bill. I think it's linked in the description. I think it's State Bill 1453. I think that's what it's called. It limits salary for higher education institutions, their leaders, its presidents, chancellors, all the terms, speaking from the heart, to $500,000 a year. Arizona State University president currently is paid $892,500. West Virginia University's president-elect, Michael Benson, is also a member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and he is going to start this summer with a $400,000 a year increase at $850,000 a year. I believe that Senator David Farnsworth's bill applies to Arizona institutions in Arizona, but I'm thinking this can be a call with all of the changes that the most fragile and vulnerable population of people, like I said, the disabled U.S. veteran defeated homelessness is the one that's banged away possible. It's just turned out that way. Okay. Paid Xfinity bill, so I would get a disconnect and we wouldn't have to pay a late notice. his idea and this bill, I'm saying that Mr. Farnsworth, don't give up on it. And what is the right thing to do? I believe it's support that $18,664 GoFundMe. And then let's find 18,664 other people to watch as soon as possible. Linked in the description would be a video called She's Got Henry David Thoreau. And I've got Theodore Roosevelt still doing what I can. And we will see that is the experience of what I went through in the 2010s. And on that day, just getting back what I already had, a driver's license the soonest I could. You have to watch that video. The best way I can resolve Tom Acosta is probably not talk about it as much anymore. Finally, that action item, I'll get to it as soon as I tell you and refer back to Alex at the bank. Wow, this video is almost 2 hours long. I had to reset my phone and just do a brand new day. Now we have the iCloud backup. Somebody helped me with it. That is Chris that defeated homelessness. I can't stand it. I can't stand that I was working at 7-Eleven making about $6,000 to defeat homelessness by working. Had to flee. I'll explain that diamonds are the only reason we have beautiful dreams at all. And now I come back, robbed of the chance to work, robbed of the chance to ever go back to work. Feeling so empowered and with these American values that I think Ronald Reagan and maybe Donald Trump would agree with. Nathan should be not even on the voucher. He should be a homeowner. He should have the YouTube income to do the things that he's talking about wanting to do. Buy a second Cadillac Escalade IQ. Be able to go outside of Colorado as soon as I can and go back to the places and meet the people at the Atlanta Greyhound Station and in San Francisco and other places, Huntington, West Virginia. Oh my gosh, we've got so much. And I'm going to get into some of that real soon on video I did recently. Like I said, I did retakes for this. There was a couple nights. We'll have more video of the recent past. We'll have video of me going to check up on Todd. I gotta show you this clip so you know what Alex knows at the bank. And in mindful observation of that video reference, she's got Henry David Thoreau and I've got Theodore Roosevelt. Still doing what I can. At the end of that video, at least as famous as Pamela Anderson, and all I have to say there. Different times of year, different years, I think. But August 2024, I'm at 48th bed permanent facility and thinking and knowing about she's got Thoreau and I've got Roosevelt. We're gonna just stop and go to a clip so I can show you what Alex knows. Right outside the bank there. What's right next door, Alex? Here it is. All right. It's one of those insurance companies that had to merge that created the job that I had with West Virginia University, and right next door is Cadillac. The last thing I want you to do, whoever in the world you are, I think this ties the world together. Link in the description is a link to an Amazon product book called Moving to a Small Town by Wanda Urbanska and Frank Levering. This book was something Wanda did. I believe Frank may have passed, I don't know, but I did speak with Wanda, connected with her in the late 2010s, and I reached out to her right before I became homeless. She is the director of the North Carolina State University's philanthropy. And this book, Moving to a Small Town, it's done before I was born. It's not mine. It's Wanda's and Frank's writing about my parents, and a good place of where the story begins. And I ask everyone to please purchase that book. Make it available in libraries in big cities like Denver, because I got that on interlibrary loan and I never went to go get it. I think it would be probably best. I did read it a long time ago, and you should probably start there. How much support can I give by encouraging you to buy the book from Amazon? It all is part of this world we live in to be best. All right? If we can make Wanda Urbanska #1 New York Times bestselling author, where can this channel go? How can all of these magical things happen? I don't know. Do you? Wanda went to Harvard. I believe it is time to be iconic. Real hard, real fast. As hard and as fast as we possibly can. I don't know what else to say. It's been a great hour and 48 minutes or so. And I can't wait to get it up. But I can't really do anything else until it is, with links in the description, and creating 2 GoFundMes. I've already got the $1 billion one, just to prove a point. And the Catholic Church, I believe, has appropriated $150 million for future restoration of a building. Encourage you to watch also Eradicating Homelessness via a Polar Express train to Puerto Rico. These are ideas and concepts to get our institutions of higher learning and a way of thinking. I would like to have that Cadillac Escalade IQ as soon as possible. I would like to go start believing in the future and my dreams, like Henry David Thoreau did. I do not believe I need to be paid $159,000 like Eloise Elliott, I believe, is paid, according to Eloise Elliott WVU's salary. Google it, ding it. I believe $100,000 salary might be something I could live on for a long time. But I'd like to stay where I'm living at for as long as I need to. It's probably likely that if I'm able to get off the voucher and be an independent homeowner, that someone else who did not create video and may not have the same skill set I do and belief. Philippians 4:13. And to all the people who are of a faith at all, if you're Mormon, we don't know what will happen in the future. Like I said, I've got to get things done today. I've got to make it home safe. How safe do you think I feel alone still, frequently right out here at the dog park? Well, there's Bones. If you're somebody believes I'm going to hell for being LGBT, well, I did think a little bit about that. And I said earlier, we don't know what David Farnsworth or anybody, Michael Benson, the Griffins, the family that's believed in Nathan longer than his own family did. We don't know what they'd say. But I believe that if I'm going to hell and my mission and goal is to eradicate homelessness for our U.S. veterans and for all homeless people in the greatest country in the world, then why don't we just focus on the things we believe in together? It seems Christ-like to me. Okay, it's been great, and my plan is to do this video, and then like I said, the other ones that I did in the recent few days, last couple of weeks. I really hope something happens, like supporting the $18,664 GoFundMe. And watching all the videos linked in the description, information about David Farnsworth, the state senator in Arizona. I have very little of any connection to Arizona. Truly. John McCain was somebody me and Tom Acosta believed in very much. But I don't know how to end this. I feel like Prince Philip compete with no one. Doing my best. I'm doing the best. It has never been done before. Not like this.